Hey, how is everybody doing? How are y'all? It's your girl JRose, and I am here. We haven't been on What You Say Poet in a minute, so I'm really, really excited to be bringing this amazing project out of the archives for this really, really special episode. I'm super excited about today's guest. I have an amazing guest. She is based in the UK. So the time difference is a little wonky right now. But I'm really, really grateful to have her on today. So please, guys, as you tune in, give a warm welcome to Careen Latoya. Hi, where are you, girl? Where are you? Oh, hold on. Am I having a technical difficulty? There you go. How are you today?
Hey, yes, I think I'm very, very well, thank you. I think my internet tried to die. Just
It tried. Listen, these days is like we want to do so much with technology, and sometimes it's just working against us.
oh, God. Mm. But yeah, I'm all good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, please. It's an honor to be talking with you. I'm really excited to just dig into a couple things about you, let the audience know about you, um, who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff. So I know that you were born in the Caribbean in Jamaica,
Yeah.
and then at the age of 11, you were moved to the UK.
hmm
So I do want to ask a little bit about that. Like, as an 11-year-old, like, what was that like leaving to a completely new country? What was that like?
Um, you remember that song "Young Dumb"? Well, it said "Young Dumb and Broke." We'll
Yeah,
take away that "Young and Foolish" because oh my gosh, yes, I'm going to live in the UK.
right.
You're not made for winters. You're not made for winters. You're not
Oh,
made for snow. you know,
so,
that like
I mean, you were coming from a warm place.
yeah. But 11-year-olds know nothing about the fact that you're not going to have this steady, continuous heat. And then you go to the seaside and you see stones and pebbles, and you're just like, what's going on? Why is it like this? Where is the sand? So, I was excited. I was excited. I used to come to the UK for holidays because my mum's family is over here.
Okay.
So all of her sisters had moved to the UK and her mum. So
Oh, wow.
years, very many years before. So I came over at the age of 5, was back at the age of 7, back at the age of 9, and then we moved at 11. So, you know, at
Right.
5-year-olds, you're excited. You're excited when you see the snow. All right, cool.
Right.
Yeah, let's play in the snow. No, boo boo. Don't get excited because you're gonna have to go to school in that.
Yes, yes, and walking it and shovel it and
Thankfully, we didn't have to shovel snow. Thankfully, it doesn't get that bad here, but it does affect public transport. So
yeah.
any little dust gets excited on the train tracks, and it's like we can't operate trains today. But
Yeah.
as a child, I was excited. I was very excited, and now I'm just like, if I were to talk to the younger version of me, I'd just be like, "Can you just beg and plead to stay in Jamaica?" It wouldn't have happened because you're a child. You have no say in this. The parents are moving. They've planned this. Um,
Exactly.
but I appreciate the experience. I
Right.
appreciate having been able to grow up in Jamaica and learn enough about my heritage to feel stable and secure within myself as an individual, and then
Mm,
come over here and experiencing a different kind of life. Education is different, um,
right.
and the even like the experiences that I've gotten over the years, the individuals that I've come across who have helped me along my journey, that's been beneficial as well. I don't know if I would have had a lot of that in Jamaica, but
Right. Right.
It would have varied. Back home, I may have had some more support. Who knows? But to have the experience of two different countries was definitely good. It's definitely
Yeah,
been good.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, you seem to have adjusted quite well
Thank you.
in this new land, this new cold land. There you are.
Ciao.
So let's dig right into all the nitty gritty,
We
because
good?
yeah, you're good. You're good. I see you. I hear you.
Okay.
You're good. Listen, we're gonna be like checking in on with each other all throughout this session. Like, we're good. Wi-Fi, you all right? But it is, to my understanding, you are a three-time published author. Like, can we just like give it up for the three-time published author? Like, let's go. It's hard enough publishing one book. You have published three. And you came on the show to talk about the third book, one of your most
Yeah.
recent books, titled Love in Black. I love the title, by the way. It's absolutely
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Um, Now, what does the title mean to you? How did you come up with that title?
It was literally just about me going to so many events and traveling late at night. When you're traveling late, you start seeing things differently, and then I started observing couples. You see a lot of couples around the place, but I wasn't seeing enough black couples, and I mean black couples who are out there like showing that whole, yeah, we're together, so we're gonna be holding hands, we're gonna be kissing in the street. I wasn't seeing a lot of that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I wasn't looking properly. Um,
Right.
but I wasn't seeing that, and I started thinking more about what black love is like. I started
Mm,
researching it, and when I was looking online, you'd see a lot of romantic love, but not much was shown on love within the family, or love between black friends, or
right.
just sense of community, that love within the black community. So
Ooh.
my brain then decided that it wanted to dance a little bit further and branch out of just that romantic kind of love, because that's easy to
Right.
find. You can go, you
Yeah.
can. There are so many black romance novels out there, and if there wasn't before, there is a lot coming up right now that you're seeing. So I wanted to do something different, and because I studied psychology for my degree, I even
Mm,
know that there aren't many studies about the black community. They're just
right.
um, so when I was looking into like different cultures and stuff when I was in uni, that still was something very difficult to find. So I was like, why not just to create something from observing different things, or even just from my mindset. I know what my black family is like. I know what it's like to have black friends. I know what
Right.
it's like to be a part of the black community because I'm black. So why not
Right.
create this? Because instead of sitting down waiting for it, why not just create
Right.
it?
Ah,
So
I love it. I love it. So the concept of the book is, you tapping into all the different types of what black love looks like, and
yeah,
beyond the romantic spectrum, which I do love that, because a lot of times when we do speak of love, the default thought is a romantic, setting,
marry.
yeah, which is great and beautiful, but there's love in so many other ways and that we
Yeah.
don't talk about as often. So I do love that. And what's something that you want your readers to walk away with when they read Love in Black?
Um, where love really starts. Where
Mm,
love really starts, because throughout everything, it gets to that point where, so the character is called Naya. She gets to a point where she's just like, actually, even though everything started within the family, and you start to learn different things here, and this is where I started formulating my sense of self, my sense of
right,
worth. It starts within self first. That love comes from me as an individual. So I want
yes,
people to kind of get to that point where they're just like, oh, self love, you know,
right.
then everything else comes off it just like trees.
So the book is more of like a novel, like
Yeah.
a okay,
It's weird. I don't like, I feel like it is a novel, but me being me, the poet in me had to put poetry throughout. And also, it's written in diary form as well. So
Ooh,
it's as though she's writing to her diary every day. She's writing to her diary.
I
Um,
love that.
and within that, the poetry comes out as well. So it's just like, okay, there's a little poem here, there's a longer poem there, but everything, it's just like just pulling two worlds together. It's the novel side, but the diary and novel and the poetry coming
Oh my
together.
God, that's such a dope concept. I really love that. That really intrigues me. That's like a book I would love to read. Um, what made you go with like the diary kind of approach to the style of writing?
Wow. I love authors. I respect authors. Like novelists, they are absolutely amazing because they do not only develop one character, they are at
Right,
times developing at least two, three, four characters, and that's
right.
just your main characters. And then oh, there we go. I'm back. You're
Yep, there
circling
you
on my
go. I hear
screen. Can you
you.
still hear me?
I can hear you. The screen will catch up in a second. You were
Oh,
saying that they have to develop characters, primary characters, and then secondary
yeah.
characters.
So I appreciate the fact that they can do that and the settings and so on. Me now, I was just like, do I really want to be developing so many different characters? Yes, she does speak about her parents, some of her cousins, her grandparents, and she gives little snippets about them as individuals, but I don't
Right.
get too deep into it. So I wanted to definitely get the different aspects of love out. I definitely wanted her to be my sole character. So I was like, why not just write it as diary entries? So damn
Mm,
writing. And then
right.
to it.
But that's although you do tap into those, you are developing other characters, but it's through the
Yeah,
lens of
yeah, that
of
day.
the main character. Um, so what did you have to do to like mentally be that character, right? Because are there some similarities? Are there some parallel
Yeah,
life things between her and what's her name, Naya?
Naya.
Is there
Yeah,
like a parallel life between you and Naya?
there are definitely some things that's in there, which is definitely Careen. Even some of the pieces that are in there, some of those pieces were written way before this book, before
Okay,
anyone would have thought that Love in Black would have been a thing.
right.
So there are definitely pieces of me, and also through observation of different family structures as well, like seeing my parents and what their love is like, and also even conversations that I've had with friends. Some of those have popped up in there. If they read the book and they see themselves in there, then great.
I
We've
was gonna
never,
ask that. That was gonna be my next question. Like, has anybody ever read the book and said, "Are you? Is that the story I told you?"
you see, my response to that would be no. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. She, who are what? No.
That's hilarious.
But some people do like I've been like, oh my gosh, thank you, I love you so much. You're going in my book. Don't worry about what your character name is, but you're in my book.
I love that. How does somebody get to be a character in Careen Latoya's book? What is something you look for?
Just be a part of my life.
Oh,
Literally, anyone, anything can pop up in my book, no matter what, no matter when. It could be the smallest thing, like the way you sneeze. It could probably
right, right.
be like, oh my gosh, and then I'll start writing. It even
That's
happens with the
amazing.
poems as well. It's just like, yeah, so maybe if I scribble this down.
Yes. Now, what is your I know you have a few poems in the book. What is your favorite poem in the book?
um, if the stars were to fight, I
If
think
the
like it's
stars
not
were to
really
fight.
a title, yeah, but it's practically just keep saying if the stars were to fight, what would life be like? Um,
Ooh, I
so
love that. Would you
that
read it?
is
Would you read it for us?
yes, I will.
Yes, yes, yes. Please do share.
If the stars were to fight, would we be stabbed each night with a dagger of a fragmented point as it crashed to the earth after being hit with such force, where hatred was its ruler? If the stars were to fight, would the moon cry each night and lose her glow, knowing the sun would need to shed pieces of himself to replace wonders for the night sky? If the stars were to fight, would we be happy people knowing the universe is such a dystopian place, unable to be at peace with the pains we've been through settling our slave syndromes that we could sleep easily? If the stars were to fight, would the black nation be one, no longer burying bodies one after the other, leaving no mother with dry eyes, with no news of another lost to knife crime? Why can we not be like the stars? They who watch over us at night, they who reside peacefully, dancing with each other at midnight, entertaining the moon, keeping each other company. They do not fight, so why do we?
Hmm.
That one.
Oh, yes. That was beautiful. And the
Thank you.
incident behaved for the whole poem. Now, let me see the cover. Can you show us the cover of the book?
Yes, indeedy.
What it looks like?
Oh,
Yes.
there we go.
Love it
I'm in the center.
black. Where can people find the book?
So if you head over to Amazon and put in Love in Black, Careen Latoya, you don't even have to put the full name, just put Careen Latoya Love in Black, that will pop up. Or the website, which is loveinblack.co.uk.
Yeah.
And then that one comes directly from me, and I will sign it because I'm the.
Ooh. Okay, okay. So you could order on Amazon, or if you want one that's
But
signed by the author,
yeah,
you can go to the website
Love in
blackinlove.co.uk.
Black. loveinblack.co.uk.
Yes, see, love and see you. I would want like the signed copy because like why not? Put in there. Oh my gosh. So my phone just buzzed really loud. Sorry. It scared the hell out of me. Um, so I know that, of course, writing and publishing a million books is not the only thing, that you do
Yeah.
for yourself. You are on this journey to help other writers also, publish and, achieve their dreams as writers. So tell me a little bit about that journey that you're on to empower other writers.
So one of the things I do is I actually assist with publishing others. So if they want me to publish, I'm happy to do that, or I can do editing, even just through conversations. So
Oh,
it's simple conversations to say, oh, this is what I want to do, and so on and so forth. How do we go about doing this? I can assist with that. I also, even if I don't do the editing, I actually do have an editor who is my darling friend. She's actually done my second book and this one, and some
okay.
others for me as well. So the first book was all me, but come my second book, I was just like, yeah, I love you. And you did English in uni? Yay. So, um,
That's great. That's a professional right there.
literally. And then it's something that I've started to I'm venturing into now is getting an e-magazine running. So
Ooh,
doing it's all written interviews with other authors, but specific questions. And I've said to them, do you know what? This is more so to help individuals who want to write, who want to publish, help them along their journey because there is so much I myself can give. But for instance, a book that I read, it was a memoir. I don't know anything about memoirs because I've not written
right,
one. I don't know what the anxiety is like around it. I don't know what the fears are like around that. So
right,
why ask that individual who's done that? What were your fears? Um, Another book, which is so that book. Oh gosh, I can't even remember the name, so I'm not mentioning any titles of books right now. But another one, which was written by a Black British female Muslim, it was me specific questions about what it's like being a Muslim and writing from that stance and what it
right,
would be like for another female who is Muslim, who is Black British, what it's like for them, whatever fears and anxieties that come up, but also the different skill set that these individuals have, whoever has merch. what was it like? What was your marketing like? So
Right.
doing is pulling together those interviews to kind of assist. And if individuals want to actually delve into publishing and they want to know about that journey, there will be more than just what Careen can give, and
Right.
more other independent authors as well, because not there are enough traditional published authors. Some people want
Right.
to do self-published, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean this the self-publishing thing is really big right now. You know, a lot of people are definitely opting in that way. So like for you, what were some of the challenges that you faced while you were trying to self-publish?
I think my biggest challenge throughout all has been marketing, but more so for Love in Black because of the time period that this has come out. So my
Right.
first two books, they're both poet books of poetry, sorry, and I was going to a lot of open mics. So I was able, like my second book, when it came to doing that launch, I was able to actually sell out the whole thing,
Right.
and that's because I was in and out of different events.
Right.
Gone. Oh, we're back.
You're good. You're still here.
Yeah. So yeah, so I was, I was in and out of events. So I was able to actually physically sell tickets. I was able to talk to people.
Right.
People were able to even get to know me, who is Careen, and so on and so forth. And also people coming into an actual launch event, they will buy the books there as well. So that was easier. When it came to Love and Black now, that was a whole different situation, because with Love and Black, this is a COVID baby.
Yes. Yes. Like a lot of our projects these days, even this show right here, What You Say Poet, is a COVID baby. So I
So
feel you.
it's yeah, it's one of those ones where okay, cool, it's happened. So marketing definitely for me is one of those things that up to this day I still struggle with. And now that I've
Right.
moved out of London, it makes it even worse because I'm not able to go to shows anymore.
Right.
I
It's like
refuse.
really far.
Oh yeah, and I refuse
Um,
to do that about 2 hours on the train.
oh my
And then
gosh.
do that drive.
2 hours to like reach society. We're making that a whole weekend trip, girl. We not doing no. We gonna
I'm
stay
not
out there.
even driving. Like a 30-minute drive on my own, it is boring. I'm in the car like singing for a bit, and then after that, I'm just like, I'm bored.
Now,
I need
do you have
entertainment.
plans? Do you have plans to like travel, like outside of the UK and kind of bring your work with you?
I want to do that. When I say that's one of the biggest things I want to do, it was meant to happen last. All right, so according to our plans, it was meant to happen last year. So with the Unapologetically Me tour, I was meant to be over there for that. But according to life, according to God, it wasn't meant to be. So
Yes, yes,
I'm not mad at it. Because different things have grown out of it, of me
right.
having stayed in the UK. But when the time is right, when the time is ready, um, I'll be in America. I'll be in the Bahamas. I've already said it to my girl that's in the Bahamas. Like, I'm coming over, and it's
Yes,
something
miss
that
my
I've been
books.
wanting to do. I've been wanting to do that for some several years now. So even before COVID
Right.
became a thing, um, I want to go back to Jamaica and just kind of give back to my land with
Yeah.
this. Mind you, my teachers do have copies of my books. So my primary school teachers in Jamaica, they've got
Oh, they must be so proud.
so that's happened. But according, through life, once everything sets itself properly, and as life will have it, as God will have planned, I'll be all over the place. I'll be touring
Yes.
America. I've already planned
Yes.
this trip in my head. Like, I know what states I'm gonna hit. I know how this
Right.
journey is gonna be. I know exactly what's gonna happen. It will happen.
Yes, yes, all in due time. I mean, the
Yeah.
fact that you just have it as a goal and it's something that you're striving towards, it'll happen. Now
Yeah.
things are, the world is a little bit more opened up a little bit more.
It's getting
So,
there.
I look forward to that. I hope that you just make a pit stop in New York,
I have to.
because
I have
that
to.
would be amazing.
New York's on my hit
Um,
list.
yes, yes. Now, what is something I know, kind of going back to you helping and empowering other writers, what is a common mistake that you see people do when they are trying to publish their books?
Um, I'd even speak from myself, lack of consistency and lack of
Mm,
reading. Reading is such a huge thing, especially with poets. I know poets who have told me they do not like to read, and that's poets. How can you curate an art form which is to be your baby, like be your pride and joy if you want cultivating it properly? You know, you're
right,
literally just going to be picking out weeds out of the ground to present. Um, and it's a thing, like if you do not enjoy reading, if you do not want to read, it's going to be a struggle. Your viewpoints, you don't know what you like. Because the thing is, like, knowing what you like as a reader works perfectly when it comes to what you give back. Because then at
right.
least,
When you're writing,
like, when I finished with Love and Black, when I sat down and I read it, I was just like, oh my gosh, I actually wrote this. I even
ah,
laughed at points. I was just like, I'm laughing at my own work, and that was a big thing. So
yes,
say the biggest issue would be lack of reading and lack of consistency, like just being consistent with writing. It's not just about writing for the book, but just even doing a little bit of writing a day helps as well. And actually, my favorite author, Dorothy Coomson, she has a podcast out, and one of her episodes was talking about just being consistent with writing, like
right,
literally just writing, and even reading. Like those are
right.
two key things.
Wow, that is, that it's funny that you mentioned that because as when I was younger, I hated reading when I was in school. Like in high school, I don't even know how I graduated high school because I don't think I read any books in high school. I don't know how I did it. I watched the movies. So,
I'm not
but
gonna lie, it's hard. It's hard when you're in high school because you're
yeah, it is. It is.
hard.
I actually started liking reading a little bit more when I got into college, and
Mm,
I only really fell into enjoying reading because I was starting to be acknowledged for my writing in college. So I had teachers that were using my essays as like examples for the class, and I was just like, oh my god, like how did I can't believe I wrote that.
I'm
And
getting
then I was encouraged to read more, and not for nothing. This is a real fact. The books that got me hooked into reading were Harry Potter books. I fell in love
really.
with the series. Yes, I start. Those are,
Shout out
and
J.K. Rowling.
yes, and I was like, I think I read the first like four books, and then after that, like I caught up to the series, and then I was like that person waiting for the book to come out. Like it was just, and
Wow.
it really it's an interesting fact for me. I do have a lot of poetry books. I don't get make a lot of time to read through a lot of them.
Mm,
I'll like read a few pages, and then I have a lot because I know a lot of poets, and I'm always buying their books and stuff like that. um but for me, I like to watch the performance aspect of poetry. So as
yeah.
much as I love to support poets and buy their books and read their books, I don't always have time to read the whole thing. I'll read a few poems, but then in my head, because I've seen them perform, I'm reading it like if
In
I'm
your
hearing them
voice.
on stage. So it's funny that you say, like, I do know a lot of poets that don't like to read, and that's hilarious.
It's crazy, but I do like the amount of books that I've bought from poets, and they're currently just all sitting in my bag at the moment. But I'm working through them because
Yeah,
these
me
are the
too.
individuals that I'm
Girl,
going to be
I got a whole shelf.
interviewing. Honestly, these are the people I'm going to be interviewing. So I want to,
Right,
what I do first, anyways, read their book. So I have an
right,
understanding of their book. So I can at least write these interview questions for them. So it's
right.
not just everyone gets the same question. No, we're all different. We're
No,
gonna do this properly. Um, but yeah, like I find with poetry books, it's easier to just read a couple and then put it down. Whereas an actual novel, because it's that
not
whole
yeah. You got to
story,
get
that
to
whole way through,
yeah.
you you can't just put it down halfway. If you put it
No,
down,
you can't. You
enjoy
can't.
it.
I can't see myself putting Love in Black down because I need to know what happens the next day. Like,
Funny enough, one of my friends, she said that when she was reading it, she was on the train reading it, and ever so often she's had people looking at her because she's either laughing or cussing one of
yes,
the characters.
I love books like that where you just start laughing out loud, or you're just like, "Oh hell no," and you're like, "Oh,
It's
sorry."
like, I'm in public. I'm sorry, guys, but you should read
Yes, but
it.
see, that's an amazing thing to. That's a great example of you as a writer because you have the ability to write people into another world where they
Yes,
completely forget where they are physically because mentally they're in your world. You know what I mean?
hmm,
And you drew them in as a writer, and that's not always an easy task. You know?
yeah, that because it's whilst writing, you're just literally just penning away, penning away, penning away, penning away. And it's like even to read it back, my goodness, after a while I was just like, I'm done. Like I've written the book now. you know, I'm
You're
done.
like over
But
it,
I
right?
still need to go through it. I still need to go back through it. So I had to kind of give it some time to breathe before I went back and said, okay, cool, because I still needed to do my final edits because I
Ah,
do so with the formatting and everything, I do that all myself. So having that physical
oh
copy,
wow.
yeah, I was able
Wow.
to just sit down and just, I'm in Five Guys and I'm just there with this, like, just going back and forth
Eating your
in a
burger and
coffee
writing it.
shop. In a coffee shop, there's one called Cafe Nero. So I would sit there in the mornings, like going through it in the evenings. I'm sitting there, and literally just back and forth, back. And it's like, okay, cool. Let me actually now try and read this book. And that, yeah, I was just like, yeah, I did well.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Now, this you have this really like fun obsession that I want to talk about, right? Because I I think it's so cool. It's not like an obsession that I have, but I am into it. I dabble in it a couple times, but you have this obsession with puzzles, right? So
yeah.
tell me, where did this come from, right? And how do you have time to write and make puzzles?
So, like when we were living in London, I think my mum got some puzzles from work. So myself, my dad, and my sister, we'd all spend time doing it. And then, you have to leave it and then go sleep and whatever. So someone would end up putting pieces in. So, all right, cool.
Right,
Now, I've moved out of my parents' house back in October, end of October last year, let's say November.
right.
I don't have any friends where I'm living. No friends.
Oh
I live in
no.
a house with 11 other people, but they're all couples.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm just here, like, there's nothing to do. I'm bored. We have a shop called The Works. So I went in and I saw puzzles. I got excited. I said yes. And I was able to just sit down and just put in the pieces in. And the thing with that, the first one that I did, it was scented. So it's
What?
lavender. And I was just like, oh, this is really nice. I'm there.
Were you
My
like
house,
it was like a scratch and sniff like puzzle?
as you touch it, like all the pieces, you touch them and just the scent just releases. And I'm just
That
like,
is
okay,
so
cool.
cool. No wonder you got addicted.
So I'm just like, all right, and but I used to be doing this in the dining room. So even my housemates got invested in this puzzle, the first one, because they would see me doing this puzzle near enough every night for a good 9 nights or something like that.
Right,
Um,
right.
but my second puzzle got me stumped because those pieces, I don't know who told me I was good enough to do a 1,000 puzzle piece by myself, 1,000 piece puzzle by myself.
I was gonna
Um,
ask you like what's the most pieces you've ever you ever did?
500. Driven me crazy.
500?
Yeah, by myself. Driven me crazy 1,000. Still
Oh
not
my
finished.
god.
But I will go back to attempt it. But yeah, it's literally just making time. So I'll say, all right, I'll do an hour just of puzzles, or I do it till it drives me crazy. And then I'll go
Wow.
switch over to
But
writing.
yeah,
I'll do.
I asked you, like, do you frame them or something? You're
No,
like, no, I just put them back in a box. I was like, what?
literally, it was done. I wrote on the last puzzle piece, like the date that it was completed, and then I just broke it all up and just put it back in the box. Took a picture and put it back in the box.
I couldn't. I have a puzzle that I did during the holidays, and I lost one piece, and
No.
I cannot bring myself to putting it back in the box because I'm devastated that there's a piece missing.
Oh no, that would
I'm
actually hurt me.
so pissed. I'm so angry about it. I wanted to frame it. It was so pretty. I spent so much time, and I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, literally, you're just like, all right, okay, cool, it's done now. Boom, and just put
Oh
it
my god. So I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So before we wrap up, I want to know, what is next for Careen Latoya?
So next is Black Behind Bars, the Unsent Letters, um, which
Whoa, that title! Yes.
you know what? Even to get that title was long. I came up with about 6 different titles, put them all on Instagram. I was just like, people, do this poll for me. Help me find out what I want to call this, what this book is going to be called. And those two, there were 2 separate titles: Black Behind Bars and The Unsent Letters. They were 2 different titles, but they got the most. And I was just like, actually, the 2 of them together sound nice. So
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yes.
coming up. It is, I don't know if it's a sequel, I don't know if it's a parallel novel, but it's one of the characters from Love in Black exploring him completely. So yeah.
Oh, it's the spin-off. I love it.
It's exploring him in a way
Yes.
different.
Oh my gosh. I love it, love it, love it, love it. That sounds really, really cool.
Thank you.
See, now I gotta get me a copy of Love in Black because I need to know what's going down. Um, because
Yeah.
then I gotta catch up with the next one. These titles are absolutely beautiful. I love it. Um,
Thank you.
where, before we say goodbye, I do want to let people, I want people to know where they can find you, where they can reach out to you if they need any of your services as far as editing, proofreading and editing and all that good stuff that you do.
Mhm.
Even like you for help format books as well, like for
Oh
people. Or
yeah, I can do that as
look at
well.
that, look at that.
I do
She's like
know.
a one-stop shop over here. So please let people know where they can find you, where they can contact you, what's the best way they can reach you to work with you. Put them on.
So the best place would be via Instagram. So scrolling along the bottom, which is Careen_Latoya. Please send me an email rather than DM me, because when I get DMs, I kind of just look at them. So it's like, I need to reply to people. Who
It's
is this person
overwhelming.
messaging me? If you email me, it's so much better, because then I look at it, it's like, actually, no, I need to reply to this. This is very important. Whereas a
Yeah.
DM, I'm just like, I
I can
don't
wait.
know this human. And they tend to sit in the request for quite a long time because I don't always check it.
Right, right.
So that's literally the best thing to do. And you'll see all of my daily poems and so on and so forth. And yeah.
So what's the email?
The email is info@careenlatoya.com. And it's also through my Instagram. So once you go Instagram, I'm double checking it to make sure I'm actually talking facts. Yeah, go on my
There it
Instagram,
is.
and then it says email address, and you can just send an email.
There you go, guys. You send Karina email if you're really serious about doing this business and working with her. I want to thank you so much for coming on for this
Thanks
really
for
special
having me.
episode. You kind of woke up this like sleeping giant in me because I haven't done this show in a long time. And when we talked about the opportunity to interview you and let people know about what you have going on, I was like, this is great. We could bring back What You Say Poet. Yes. And
See?
I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and sharing your artistry with us. I
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you. And is there any last words, any last gems that you want to leave the audience with?
me. write for you, write for yourself first. It's something that I've been learning. Once you
Mm,
show up for yourself, everything else that comes, it's just like residual income. So
right,
that extra, and you're just like, this is nice. So what I'm doing for me is having a positive impact on others. Literally, like I've been seeing that so much, especially with my Instagram posts. I write
right.
everything for me, even the down to Dare Black Man. Those posts is from me, for me. I'm showing up for myself just by writing these pieces. And
Mm,
once you show up for yourself first, be consistent for yourself first. Everything else after, it's that extra thing, and you're just like, cool, thank you very much for seeing me, but it's more important to see yourself first.
mm. I love that. That was beautiful. What a wonderful gem. Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Kareen. Thank you everyone that's tuned in, everyone that's tuning in after we're no longer live. This is gonna stay on the Facebook and YouTube page, so anyone can tap in and rewatch the replay. Please make sure that you guys follow Careen Latoya on Instagram, and you can follow us at the Rose Garden Events or me as your host at My Crumble Thoughts. Kareen, do not leave the studio. I'm going to wrap up this show, and I do want to talk to you backstage, so stick around.
uh,
Don't go
I'm excited.
yet.
Thank
Thank you guys. Keep growing.